Hello Magic fans, I'm Beef and welcome back to another historic gameplay video. So last week, one of my subscribers at Pipe Gameplays 9302 asked if it was possible to build a good dragon deck in Arena, and he did ask for as cheap as possible because as a free-to-play player it's hard to get the wildcards. Now unfortunately dragons are one of those creatures which are mostly made at high rarities. For those who don't know, each colour has something called signature creature types. So in red, the lower rarity signature creature types is goblin, high one is dragons, white the high one's angels, blacks it's demons I think, blue it's sphinxes, and green I think is elementals, but I could be wrong. So these are the cards which are printed in most sets or every set, but usually at high rarities and most often in those colours. So it's not that easy to build a cheap deck. I've also rebuilt the deck a few times. So I actually recorded all the gameplay video, all the intro and the outro, just to find out that my recording software reset my mic to default, which is nothing. So even though the mic was on and it looked like it was recorded and everything, it didn't actually pick up any of my commentary. So I've had to re-record the gameplay and the intro and the outro. So what are we doing? We've built it in Historic for mainly for Fearsome, Whelp and some access to other dragons. So if anyone was around when Alchemy first came out, Fearsome Whelp was one of the original cards, and I think it's one of the cards that made people dislike Alchemy. So what it is 2 mana, 1/1 with flying and haste, and has at the beginning of your end step, each dragon card in your hand perpetually gains this spell costs 1 less to cast. So it ramps, well, it decreases the cost of your dragons, which are usually very expensive. So when it gets down to the fact that you can play, you know, a big dragon for 3 mana or even 2, and therefore a double or even triple spell, it's quite frustrating. So that's why we built it in Historic. And the big dragons we have are Bonehoard Dracosaur, a 5 mana 5/5 flying first strike. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play them this turn. If you exile a land card this way, create a 3/1 red dinosaur creature token. If you exile a non-land, create a treasure token. So you are either going to get a 3/1 dinosaur, a treasure token, or both, and the ability to play the cards you exiled. This is a very, very powerful card. We also have Terror of the Peaks, a 5 mana 5/4 with flying, and it has spells your opponent casts that target Terror of the Peaks, cost an additional 3 life to cast. So it's pseudo ward. It is not 100% ward because ward affects abilities as well. This is just spells. But then it also has whenever another creature ETBs under your control, Terror of the Peaks deals damage equal to that creature's power to any target. So it's very powerful. You have Terror of the Peaks, you pay a Bonehoard Dracosaur, you deal 5 to any target. We also have Goldspan Dragon, 5 mana 4/4 flying haste. When it attacks or becomes target of a spell, again a spell, not an ability, create a treasure token, and treasures you control have tap to sacrifice it for 2 mana. So it basically ramps your treasure tokens. We also have 1 copy of Dracosaur Maw of Flames, which is a 7 mana 7/7 with flying, and when it attacks it deals 4 damage to any target and 3 damage of each up to 2 other targets. Very powerful, but in true MTG Arena fashion, after I put this in the deck, I have played over 10 games and I have not seen it once. Rounding out the deck, we have Removal and Ramp. So our Ramp is Utopia Sprawl, which is 1 mana Enchant Forest. You choose a colour. When you tap that forest, it produces additional mana of that 1 colour. This is why we have quite a few forests in our mana base, as well as a couple of stomping grounds and a commercial district. We also have 3 copies of Explore, play an additional land this turn, draw a card. These are great ways to, you know, if you Utopia Sprawl turn 1, Fearsome Whelp or Explore turn 2, it is not out of the possibility to play one of your 5 drops on turn 3, which is incredibly powerful. Our removal are Play with Fire, 2 copies Invasion Attack here, a great card for a dragon deck. When it ETBs, reveal any number of dragon cards in your hand, including 0. When you do, Invasion deals X+2 to any other target, where X is the number of cards revealed this way. So at its base 2 is a 2 mana, deal 2, but obviously it can go up 3, 4, 5, even 6 damage, which is great. And then when you remove all its defense counters, it transforms into Defiant Thundermaw, 4/4 flying trample. Whenever a dragon attacks, it deals 2 damage to any target. So obviously a great finisher. If you have this, a few dragons, even your small Fearsome Whelps, suddenly you're doing 2 to any target and you can just wipe the opponent's board. My only slight issue is it's got 5 defense counters. If it had 4, it would be even better, because Gold Dragon can come down and attack it in 1 turn. Then we have Brotherhood's End. 3 mana, choose 1, deal 3 to each creature and each planeswalker. Our only creatures we have with less than 3 toughness is Fearsome Whelp, or you can destroy all artifacts and mana value 3 or less. And the other big card is Smuggler's Surprise. It's a spree card, so 1 base green. You can also play 2 generic to mill 4. You may put up to 2 creature or land cards from among the milled into your hand. 4 and a green, for a total of 6 to put 2 creature cards from your hand on the battlefield, and +1 just to your creatures with power 4 or greater gain hexproof feat and indestructible. You could play Storm the Festival in this slot, which is 6 mana. Look at the top 6 of your library. You can put 2 permanents with mana value 5 or less onto the battlefield. That does have flashback, so you get more value, but a flashback costs 10, which is quite a lot. I prefer this because, 1, it's an instant. So one of the great things is if your opponent attacks, you can cast this, surprising a couple of creatures, or at the end of your opponent's turn to reduce the chance of removal. And that mill 4, put 2 into your hand, can be very powerful. Now, unfortunately, with this deck, for some reason, I just have a habit of milling lands. In a couple of the in one game that I played, it won't be in the video because it didn't have any commentary, I played 2 of these in 2 turns, and out of 8 cards, I milled 7 lands and an Invasion of Tarkir. That's why I put in something like Dracosaur, just to increase the number of creatures, because we have 13 creatures we want to hit, as well as 4 other creatures, and that last mode can swing gameplay. If your opponent tries to wipe your board with a destruction board wipe, this whiffs it, or targeted removal, this whiffs it. And because our creature's so big and powerful, just having 1 extra turn can really help. Mana base, we do have 2 copies of Arena of Glory. You can hasten a creature, great for Bonehoard, Dracosaur and Terror of the Peaks, and Dracosaur, if we ever see Dracosaur. 1 commercial district just for survival. This is a great land if you've got in our hand that we can play extra with Explore, as often we don't care about that land coming to play tapped. 2 Carplusian Forest, 2 Stomping Ground, 2 Grag Crown Pathway, and then 1 Boseiju for troublesome artifacts and enchantments. It's a pretty good deck. It's not cheap. Dragons, as I said, dragons aren't. We have 4, 8, 12, 14 mythics, which is quite a lot of rares. So it's not the easiest to get hold of. But Piper Gameplays 9302, I hope you enjoy it. If you do, please remember to like and subscribe. Well, you already are like and subscribe. If anyone else enjoys it, please remember to like and subscribe. And I'll see you all in the gameplay. Well, we have a bit of ramp. So I think we go with this. And we are on the play as well. I think we keep that on green. Well, we're going to have to take that out now. We'll put this on red. Play of Fire was a good draw. They say good game and they scoop. That's why Minion the Mighty is a horrible deck to play against or play, because it is literally, if you have the right cards you win, if they remove it you lose. So we have some removal in Invasion, we have some ramp in Explore. And then if we get up to 6, obviously we can Smug Surprise. So I think we keep this. Let's play the tap Stomping Ground. And obviously if they play something that might need removing, maybe we can Invasion. But I think we just stick to exploring. We can take that out with invasion. And we're 2 lands away from being able to surprise in Terror of the Peaks and the Trailblazer, Dracosaur, sorry. Maybe they've got another... Okay. Or maybe they had another elf. But we can just get down the Dracosaur. If they are in mono green, unlikely they play a destroy target creature with flying, but that is in green. I think we do this now. And we can... yeah. We can take out any of their creatures, transform the invasion, and then just win. Mono green, not great at taking out bigger targets, unless they have something like Death Touch and a fight or bite spell. So Fearsome Whelp, reduced the cost of Terror of the Peaks. No removal and only 1 big dragon, but hopefully that can get us there. We do need another red. Maybe we can... I'm going to Smuggler Surprise now, see if we hit anything. The amount of times I whiff with Smuggler Surprise is insane. They may have a counter for this. Or a bounce spell? I imagine they have some interaction then. But it will cost them 3 life to do so. Unless they have like an Otawara.
In the right hand, knowledge is the sharpest blade. Respect the library.
Having no dragons sucks.
Violence is not the answer. Do you mind?
Well, at least next turn we will be able to mill with Smuggler Surprise. But obviously they'll probably have a counter and there's a big chance we'll whiff because that's what we seem to do. Gotta hope we draw a land.
I am not defenseless.
That's not it. That was a bit ridiculous. So we have some ramp, and then if we get up to 6, getting down Bonehoard, Dracosaur and Tail of the Pigs is pretty good. But we are on the draw. But against blue-white control is going to be tough. Don't think we need another Dracosaur. No stick, so we obviously don't have any counters. And next turn we can Smuggler Surprise. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. So we can't mill as well, which is unfortunate. And they might have another Cleansing Nova. So if they... So I can get down Tail of the Pigs and Bonehoard Dracosaur. But exert this so we can haste in the Dracosaur and then swing in for lethal without even the Terrapix needing to hit in. No ramp, so this is a mulligan. Still no ramp. Some ramp. No green though, so I think we put back that. Mulligan to 5 though is not great. They seem to be against a graveyard deck. We do need more land. So next turn we can take out the Arcanist. Wonder if it's got any buff though. Yeah, I think we're in a pretty poor position. But they are tapped out. Let's Surveil, see what's on top. Don't think we need another land. So next time we can cast a gold span or attack the invasion. I imagine it does not survive. Do they have another way to deal 1 damage? Oh, they can just escape it. Alright, well, that's us done. No ramp. We do have some removal, but we need to get things quicker. Opponents deciding whether they mulligan. And they are taking their time. I think we put back a mountain. Brotherhood's End, I think, is going to be quite good. So I think next turn we explore, trying to hit that 3rd land. So next time we can Brotherhood's End. which is going to wipe their entire board. Do they look up Crater Hoof? Yeah, they do indeed. Do they stick around? That's the question. Which doesn't look like they are. Next turn, if they are still here, which I don't think they are, we can get down the Whelp and keep up Play with Fire. But I think they are sortily roping. Oh no, they are looking at their cards. Beware the auto tapper. I think they only had one Crater Hoof in their hand. We still do need more land. Yeah, that did it. Taking out their entire board. I'm surprised they stuck around after that. You know, we didn't really see our dragons go in, but you know, when you wipe their board, you don't really need them. So this is pretty good. We can Utopias Brawl, then explore, get down the commercial district, and hopefully have a reasonably early Bonehoard Dracosaur. So I'm going to put this on red. Let's play out the commercial district. Don't need another land. So next turn we can get down the Dracosaur. And next turn we could smuggle a surprise if we draw another creature. But hopefully our Dracosaur survives, so we get those triggers at the start of our turn. Yeah. Oh, they are an Eldrazi deck. So they are ramping. So, I say, do we just smug surprise the Dracosaur and the Terror of the Peaks? And the answer would have been yes. Or we could have played maybe out the Goldspan. That would have given us... Well, we could have played the Goldspan without using the treasure. Given us 4 mana, so not. Or we could have then played out the Dracosaur after the Goldspan and then kept the Smug Surprise for next turn. One land, no keep. Which, you know, if we had another land, this would have been alright, but this is better. I think we have to put away we have to put away the land, I think. Because we can Utopias Brawl. Put this on red. We will need another green for Smuggler Surprise, but for now it should be fine. Well, there's the other green. Well, let's see if it survives. It does not. Well, I don't mind ramping. That's essentially what it did anyway. So next turn we can get down with Terror of the Peaks. Which I'm not going to get down because they seem to be removal heavy. So I would like to wait until I can protect it with Smuggler Surprise. Oh, they're an energy deck. Next turn, if we draw a bigger creature, we can surprise in Terror of the Peaks. I think we do that on there at the end of their turn because they might have a Tune with Ether. Not a Tune with Ether, Ether Spike. Going to go face. Now they got two big things to deal with, both of which give us value. They might have two Galvanic discharge. Or that wouldn't be enough to take out both of them. Another Smuggler Surprise with the Goldspan Dragon surviving would be nice. There's one. Do they have the other one? Oh. But I think this game's over. We can play with fire to see what we hit on the top of our deck. If they don't have Ether Spike. Goldspan. Do they have Ether Spike? At least we get a treasure out of it. And a land. So the best draw now really would be Smuggler Surprise. They can't quite escape Flage, but they can transfer Tameo.
From your home. Use your words.
Is that 3 play with fires in a row? It is. Really wish I had an Arena of Glory so we could hasten the Tear of the Peaks. I mean, I don't know what they're thinking about. They can escape Flage easily. There we go. Yeah, that's us done. Well, we go first, and Fearsome Whelp can reduce the cost of a few things, and we've got some in removal as well. So I think we give this a go. So you do need more land, and maybe play with fire can get us there. I'll shock it in. For a second I thought maybe it was Minion of the Mighty. Well, let's go face and scry. Yeah, another land is required. Next turn we can get down the invasion. And then a turn after that, the Dracosaur. Fortunately, there's no way I can get down the invasion and Utopia's Brawl. And I'm going to attack the invasion. That way, it'll be easy to transform. So next time we can Utopia Sprawl and get down Dracosaur. They seem to be stuck on mana. Well, oh, they're just dead. They put a lot of big scary things into their graveyard. Well, 4 big scary things. There we go. Yep. Yeah, they didn't really do a lot. They put some, was it 3 scholars into their graveyard and a breach. So I'm guessing they were reanimator decks somehow, but they didn't actually do anything. Although when I saw Mana Confluence, I thought it might be Minion of the Mighty, but it wasn't. Hello Magic fans, and welcome back to the wrap-up. And Magic's weird. So as I said in the deck tech, I did actually record all the gameplay video, all the intro and outro, but my recording software picked the wrong mic, so obviously none of my commentary was captured. And when I did it then, I think I had a win rate of like 36%, so not great from about 19 games, but that was where roughly it is. I do, do this. I do make a small tweak, which I don't think makes a huge amount of difference, because as I said, I put in Dracosaur and never saw Dracosaur, so I'm not sure how much different it did make. But now we play 10 games with a 60% win rate, so less games, more win rate. But I think it shows it can be a powerful deck. The problem is, in theory, it's a slow deck, which is why we have so much ramp. Why we have Utopia Sprawl, Explore, Fearless Whelp, and all that. Because it is not particularly unrealistic to be able to get down, say, a Goldspan Dragon or a Bonehoard Dracosaur or Terror of the Peaks on turn 3. And what I would say, when I started playing it, I was like, I'll get down Terror of the Peaks, and that way when I play more creatures, I can, destroy things, or I'll get down Goldspan because it can attack straight away, create a treasure, might create another treasure, and it can rampers. If you can, play Bonehoard Dracosaur. It is a really, really good card. 5/5 flying first strike means it can block pretty much anything. But also, if it survives your turn, you'll gain so much value. You're basically drawing 2 extra cards you've got to play that turn, and you're getting a treasure or another creature, or both, which just lets you play your other creatures. So a really, really fun deck, and quite a powerful one. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in my next video.